Most of us recognize that viewing pornography is a spiritual red line. We know what the Bible says about staying morally clean, but have you ever felt like there's a tug of war happening inside your own head? Like you want to do what's right, but your brain seems to be pulling you in the opposite direction? There's a reason for that. It's not just a lack of willpower, it's a biological process. Today, we're going to look at the brain on porn. We'll explore how the science of neuroplasticity intersects with our spirituality and how the resources on jw.org can help us understand and win this internal battle. The dopamine surge. To understand the spiritual struggle, we first have to understand the brain's reward system. Our brains are designed by our Creator to reward us for healthy activities, like eating a good meal or enjoying a conversation, by releasing a chemical called dopamine. It's the feel-good signal that tells the brain, "This is good, do it again." However, pornography acts as a supernormal stimulus. It floods the brain with an unnatural massive surge of dopamine. When the brain is constantly hit with this flood, it tries to protect itself. It actually starts to shut down its own dopamine receptors to keep from being overwhelmed. Think of it like walking into a room with blindingly bright lights. Eventually, your eyes squint, or you put on sunglasses to dim the glare. In neurology, this is called downregulation. Spiritually, we see this described in the Bible at Ephesians 4:19, which speaks of those who have come to be past all moral sense. When we are desensitized, we lose our moral taste buds. We find ourselves needing more extreme content just to feel the same hit, pulling us further away from the clean standards Jehovah sets for us. The CEO and the conscience. The struggle goes deeper than just chemicals. Let's talk about the prefrontal cortex. This is the front part of your brain, the CEO responsible for logic, decision-making, and impulse control. It's essentially where your conscience lives. Studies suggest that chronic porn use can actually weaken the neural pathways in this area. It's like the brakes on your impulses are being worn down. When those brakes are thin, it becomes incredibly difficult to follow the counsel at Colossians 3 verse 10 to clothe yourselves with the new personality. It's hard to build a new personality when the biological tools we use for self-control are compromised. This is why many people feel a spiritual fog. It becomes harder to pray, harder to meditate, and harder to see others as people instead of objects. This biological thinning of the conscience creates a barrier between us and our relationship with God. The hope of rewiring, but here's the most important part. The brain is plastic. This means it can change, it can heal. This is called neuroplasticity. Just as the brain was wired to crave a stimulus, it can be rewired to find joy in what is wholesome. Recovery isn't just about stopping a bad habit, it's about making your mind over. This isn't just a metaphor, it's a biological reality. When you stop the cycle, your brain begins to upregulate, rebuilding those receptors and strengthening your impulse control. Practical steps for recovery. So how do we start that rewiring process? Based on the practical advice from jw.org, here are 3 steps. First, make a covenant with your eyes. Like the faithful man Job, decide ahead of time what you will not look at. This protects your brain from that initial dopamine flood. Second, rely on power beyond what is normal. 2 Corinthians 4:7 reminds us that we don't have to do this alone. When your biological brakes feel weak, prayer is a real, tangible way to lean on Jehovah's strength. It helps steady the mind and refocus the CEO of your brain on things that are righteous, chaste, and lovable. Third, replace the habit. You can't just leave a vacuum. Fill your mind with the wisdom from above. The more you engage in healthy spiritual activities, the more you strengthen the neural pathways that lead to life. Conclusion. Understanding the biology of this struggle doesn't give us an excuse, but it does give us a roadmap. You aren't broken forever. With patience, the gift of neuroplasticity, and most importantly, Jehovah's Spirit, you can regain control of your mind and your heart. Thanks for watching. Remember, your mind is a gift. Keep it focused on the things that truly matter.